Adriano Ribeiro was one of the most feared strikers in the world, and then, in a matter of months, he lost everything. On the one hand, this is a story about a man who had everything football could give you: fame, money, and a left foot so powerful it terrified defenders and goalkeepers alike. But on the other hand, this is also the story of someone who couldn't escape the shadows in his own life. A player whose career collapsed under the weight of grief, depression, and pressure. This is the tragic, unbelievable story of Adriano. Adriano Ribeiro was born in Rio de Janeiro in 1982, and like millions of Brazilian kids, he grew up dreaming of escaping poverty through football. Even as a boy, he was tall, broad-shouldered, and impossibly powerful. In 1999, Adriano joined Flamengo's youth academy, and just a year later, at only 18 years old, he was promoted to the senior squad. He made his debut in February 2000 against Botafogo, and only 4 days later, he scored his first professional goal against São Paulo. By June, he signed his first professional contract with Flamengo, but it wouldn't last long because just a year later, Inter Milan bought Adriano for over 13 million euros. On his debut, in a friendly against Real Madrid, he came on as a substitute and scored. But even after that explosive debut, Inter knew he wasn't ready to lead the line just yet, and so they made a decision to let Adriano grow elsewhere. They loaned him to Fiorentina, where he gained valuable minutes in Serie A, but it was at Parma where the monster inside him truly emerged. In 2 seasons at Parma, he scored 22 goals in 36 appearances. By January 2004, Inter Milan paid 23 million euros to bring him back. In the second half of that season, he scored 12 goals. The San Siro roared every time he touched the ball, and the Italian press gave him a nickname that would stick forever: the Emperor. And it wasn't just in Italy where he shined. With Ronaldo absent, Adriano became Brazil's spearhead at the 2004 Copa America. He scored 7 goals in 5 matches, including a 93rd minute equalizer in the final against Argentina. Brazil won on penalties, and Adriano left with the Golden Boot and Player of the Tournament. From July 2004 to June 2005, Adriano was untouchable. In 48 matches, he scored 42 goals. And for many, it felt inevitable that this young man from the favelas of Rio was on his way to becoming the greatest striker of his generation. And then, in the summer of 2004, came the phone call that would change everything. His father, Almir Ribeiro, had passed away suddenly of a heart attack. Inter captain Javier Zanetti later recalled. He got a phone call from Brazil. "Adri, Dad is dead." I saw him in his room. He threw the phone and started screaming. You couldn't imagine that kind of scream. From that moment, nothing would ever be the same. He was still scoring, still feared, but those who watched closely could see the difference. He was heavier, slower, and distracted. Adriano himself admitted years later that after his father died, he didn't want to play football anymore. And that's exactly what he did. The nightclubs of Milan became his escape. He would vanish for days, return to training out of shape, and disappear again. By late 2006, things reached a breaking point. Brazil's new coach, Dunga, left Adriano out of the squad for a friendly match, telling reporters, he needs to change his behavior. He needs to focus on football. But Adriano didn't listen. In February 2007, after celebrating his birthday with a long night of partying, he skipped training altogether. In early 2008, Adriano joined São Paulo on loan, and when he scored twice on his competitive debut, people whispered that maybe, just maybe, the Emperor was back. But the problems followed him. Within weeks, he was sent off for headbutting an opponent. In 2010, he signed for Roma with a 3-year contract worth 5 million euros a season. The hope was that he could dominate Serie A once more. Instead, he lasted just 7 months. When Adriano finally walked away from professional football, he didn't get the goodbye that legends usually receive. Instead, he slipped out quietly. In the end, Adriano may not have become the greatest striker in history, but he found something else, peace in the only place that ever truly felt like his kingdom.